Okay, so once again, welcome to everybody to our Saturday morning session. And we will start with our usual prayer. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Today we are starting a new session on a new subject. How to get closer to divinity. That is the subject. In Sanskrit, we call it Asvaryata. You become closer to the God, to the Ishwar. So let us understand this a little bit first. What is the nature of Asvaryata and how we can go closer to that. Now, one very important fact of life is we all believe that we are all divine, divinity lives inside us. But how do we understand that? We talked about the layers of the human constitution. We talked about the body, the senses, the mind, the intellect, the ego, and then the divinity, the consciousness. The 6 layers, the 5 physical layers and the 6th layer of consciousness. Or 6th, not a layer, but the core of all those layers. We discussed that in our previous sections. Now today I want to highlight a few points. First point is that when you want to see somebody else, you need the medium of light. In the total darkness, you cannot see anybody. You can't even see the plants and the trees in front of you. The intervention of darkness is broken by the light. When there is a light, you can see. Your presence is needed and light is needed for anybody to see you. So these are the 2 things which you need. And this is what the science talks about, that any physical object you need to observe or see, you need that it should be observable. They don't talk about the person who is observing it, but they talk about its observability, that it should be possible for you to observe it. Now, the only thing which is not possible to observe is your own self. Even in the deepest darkness, you don't need light to see yourself. You can see yourself without any light. Because in Sanskrit they say, Atma Swaprakashit hai. Atma does not need any outside light. It is Swaprakashit. It's like the sun which is shining itself. This is the nature of the human soul. And that is why it is called divine. It is observing everything else, but it cannot be observed by anything outside. In order to observe it, you have to merge with your own self. If I want to observe you, I have to merge in yourself to observe you. I can see your body with the light. I can get acquaintance of yourself. But I cannot see your Chaitanya, your inner core. For that, I have to merge in you to see that. So that is the fundamental part of divinity. If you want to observe, if you want to feel divinity, you have to merge with the divinity. That is the only way to feel the presence of divinity. Because, as I said, the Atma स्वप्रकाशित है. So you cannot feel the observer. You feel what is observed. If you want to feel the observer, you have to merge with the observer. So this is the fundamental point we have to understand to move towards divinity. So slowly we have to move and merge ourselves to the divinity, to understand divinity, to feel divinity, to realize divinity. Without that, it is not possible. Now, our Upanishads have said, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Aham Atma Brahma. All these are big pronouncements in Upanishads, in Vedas. They clearly pronounce that you are the universe. This, we should understand this first before we move how to merge with the divinity. As soon as your Chaitanya, as soon as your own consciousness leaves the body, the whole universe disappears. There's no universe. Even in the deep sleep, when you are completely asleep, there is no universe anywhere. You are totally what you call in a pragyavastha, in the state of pure consciousness. There is no second there. You are the only one. We were talking that Atma स्वप्रकाशित है. उसको देखने के लिए you do not need any outside help. For everything else you need light to be seen. Without light you cannot see anything. Even if an object is right in front of you, if there is no light, if the total darkness, you will not be able to see that object. But in order to see yourself, you don't need any outside light. You can see yourself without any light. And I was giving the example that in the state of deep sleep, there's no second existence. You are the only one existing. And you are in the state of pure consciousness there. Now that is the state which we are talking about. That is the state of divinity. That is the state which is called Aham Brahmasmi, that pure state of consciousness. Now, how do we reach that state? How we approach? But we will go to that topic little later. Let us first understand what is the purpose of human life. Purpose of human life, or purpose of any life in that sense, is to rise up. When you join an institution, you also have an aim in the life that, okay, today I have joined as, as a clerk, tomorrow I'll become head clerk, then I'll become section officer, then I'll become a manager, then I'll become general manager. Each one of us wants to rise in whatever organization we are. This is a natural progression. Even in the family, we see that, okay, today I'm child, then I'll become, young, then I'll become a father, then I'll become a grandfather, then I'll become a great grandfather. So there's a feeling of rising up. This feeling is a natural feeling in a human being, that you want to rise from the point where you are. That feeling of rising above is a natural process in every human being. It is a natural desire, it is an innate desire, not even a natural desire, innate desire embedded in yourself, in your system. You talk to anybody in life, they all want to progress upwards wherever they are. A poor man wants to become rich, a rich man wants to richer, a very rich man wants to control the whole universe. If you control the earth, you want to control the moon. So this is a natural progression of innate human desire. You want to rise up. That is the essence of human life. In other species of life, that desire is not there. For example, a cow or a buffalo or a serpent. They just live a what you call a normal, essential, existential life. They don't have that desire to go up. That desire is possible only in human life. That is why human life is considered the highest form of life in which you have a possibility to rise up. You have to rise up. Now, this rising is also a process of birth, and rebirth is also associated with rise. Because you take a birth, you reach up to a point, and then you die and you take a rebirth. Then you start from that base level which you left in your last life, and then you progress further, and then you again die. Then in the next life you start from the level where you left in the last life, and then you progress further. So this punarjan, this birth and rebirth is also a process of rising up. Everything moves in that direction. This is a very natural process of human life. In other species of life, that process is not possible, and that is why those yonis are called bhog yoni. All other yonis are called bhog yoni. But Manushya yoni is called a yoni in which you can become urdhgami. You can rise up, but you can also go down. You can also become adhogami. Both are possible. That is possible only in Manushya yoni, not in any other yoni. All other yoni are bhog yoni. Here in human birth, you can rise up or you can go down. So this is essentially a human feature that I want to rise. Now let us take an example of a dancer or an athlete. Somebody wants to become a good athlete or a good sportsman. What does he do? He sets his target. Okay, I want to become like Sachin Tendulkar. I want to play very good cricket, even better than Sachin Tendulkar. What does he do? He starts preparing himself. He prepares his body first, that I should keep my body fit, and he consults a trainer who will advise you how to keep your body fit. Then he gets another trainer and starts taking lesson of cricket. That okay, how I should do my batting, what should be the fundamentals. So he takes that trainer and he works hard with him. Then what he does, he takes video of his activities, his actions, and he analyzes those videos and finds out that this is the mistake I did. I have to improve upon that mistake. He sits with his trainer and analyzes how to improve upon that. So this is the process. He moves upwards. He prepares himself, he trains himself, he performs an action, he analyzes his actions, finds out the faults, try to remove those faults and move upward. This is the process. This is the process for a dancer as well. A dancer wants to become a perfect dancer. She does the same thing. She keeps the body fit. She talks to her guru or his guru, and then the guru advises her how to perform dance. All the movements of the dance are taught. Then she performs. Then she finds mistakes there, analyzes them, tries to remove those mistakes, and move forward. This is the process we do. This is the process we do in every part of our life. But we do not do this process when it comes to self-realization. Very, very few of us do that process in the process of self-realization. Because we don't even feel that self-realization is something which is very important. A very few of us understand that. And actually that is the substance of all upward movements in life. Self-realization is the only most significant, most substantial process in the entire life. You become a good sportsman and a good artist and a good dancer, those will be left behind here after your death. Maybe some people here will remember that, but nothing will go with you. What will go with you is the self-realization that will go with you in the next birth, that will take you up in the life, that will take you closer to the divinity. So this process we have to understand and start. Now let me give you an example of this process, how it is compared. See, we in Vedic, uh, parlance or in Hinduism, we always do things in the presence of fire. Whether do what you call a yajna, it is done in presence of fire. You do a marriage ceremony, it is done in presence of fire. You do a house opening ceremony, it is done in presence of fire. You sit down in a temple, you do prayer, it is done in the presence of fire. Why? You see, we must understand this concept of fire. This is what we are talking about. We have to ignite that fire inside us as well. What is this fire? Why do we do that? First of all, fire is urdhgami. This defies gravitational force. If you put a stone, it comes down on the earth, but fire goes upwards. As soon as you light it, it goes upwards. It defies the power of gravitation and goes upwards. It's urdhgami. Secondly, as soon as the fire is lit, you get light, prakash. It enlightens. The darkness goes away. As soon as the fire is lit, you get warmth, you get energy, you get the heat. That is, the warmth comes from fire. Actually, the entire pranic energy inside the body operates with fire. That's why we call it Agni, pranic and Agni. So that is the third or fourth very big property of fire. Then the property of fire, it purifies everything. You put impure matter in the fire, it will purify. The सोना जो है वो भी purify हो जाता है उसके अंदर. All the impurities are destroyed in fire. All the purities will stay there. Then even a thing which is going downwards, it starts going up with fire. Like you boil the water always flow downwards towards the gravity. But as soon as you boil the water and it takes the heat, it takes the Agni in it, it starts going up. It becomes urdhgami, forms the cloud. So fire has many properties. That is the reason it's a symbol of every action we do, that we should become urdhgami. We should go upwards. We should not go downwards. This is an explanation which is given to us through the use of fire in our life in variety of ways. So let us now decide ourselves that we want to become urdhgami. We should rise up wherever we are today. Slowly we have to come up from that process and go towards the divinity, go closer to the divinity, or ultimately merge with the divinity. That is the process we are talking about. This is also the process called Aiswaryata in Sanskrit, that you are going closer to the God. You are manifesting godly attributes in your own personality. This is what Aiswaryata means. Now, how do we ignite that fire? That fire has to be ignited within ourselves. That we have to go up. Now we will talk about first step towards that fire today. The first step of igniting that fire is to set your goal high. Never set your goal low. You will never reach beyond your goal. So you have to put your goal post high up. if you have put the goalpost high up, you will try to move up. For example, if a dancer wants to become a perfect dancer, she has to compare herself to the best dancer and even try to excel beyond that. That should be the approach. You become Tendulkar and you go even beyond Tendulkar. That should be the goal. That is what we have to do in our what you call goal setting for the life. This is not a goal setting for your organization or for your family or for for anybody else. This is not a goal setting for anything else but for your own self. That myself has to rise and merge with the divinity. That should be the goal. In the Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 9, verse 25, Krishna has said very clearly कि भूतों को भजने वाले भूतों को पाते हैं, पितरों को भजने वाले पितरों को पाते हैं, देवताओं को पूजने वाले देवताओं को पाते हैं और मेरे भक्त मेरे को पाते हैं. So you don't have to set your goal to the bhoot, anything in existence, or to the pitar, those people who have your ancestors who have passed away, or even to the gods, because you have to go beyond the gods. You have to go to the ultimate divinity of life. So this is what should be our first aim in life, that we want to rise. As a sportsman sets its goal, he wants to rise up, and we will set our goal very high, and we will start our process of rising today in a particular manner. For that, we will take good care of our body, we will take good training, we will analyze all the faults we are doing, and we will try to remove those faults and move upwards. Now that determination is the first step towards divinity. I hope I'm very clear, because without those two things, you can't even think of reaching there. First, you set your goals, and secondly, you are ready for that sadhana, that process of sadhana, which is called training and fault finding and improving yourself. That is extremely important, and that is done at every single step in life. At every single step in life, we have to analyze ourselves and we have to move upwards, move forward. Now, in this process, never forget that you are divine. That is why I told you Atma Sway Prakasit hai. Because you have something inside you which is the core of yourself, that is absolutely divine. That is the one which gives this universe to you. Because as soon as that divinity leaves from you, the universe disappears. There is no universe left for you. That Chaitanya, when it leaves, when this consciousness leaves, there is no universe. Everything disappears. Therefore, you have to realize that the entire universe is inside you. That core which forms your life is the entire universe. And that should be the first step. Second step, that I have to realize that divinity. And third step, that I am ready to do sadhana. I am ready to do the proper training, analysis and improvement process for my life to attain divinity. So I think today, because we have to go into very precise details how to move forward in each one of these directions. So I wanted to put a framework today, and that framework should be very clear to each one of us, those who want to rise up. Firstly, human being is the only life where you can rise upwards. बाकी सब योनियां भोग योनि है, उनमें आप ऊपर नहीं बढ़ सकते. That is very clear, evident to everybody, should be evident to everybody. Therefore, we are very fortunate that we have got this human life, and from where we can start our journey upwards. And why we do that journey upwards? I gave you the example of the fire, because that is the only journey which enlightens you, which gives you warmth, which takes you to the divinity. Then this journey has a sadhana. You have to be ready for that sadhana, and this journey you have to set a objective, your goal very, very high. You don't have to set your goal low. So let us now get ready that we are divine, we want to achieve divinity, we are ready to do that sadhana, and we will go step by step in that direction, analyzing ourselves. Now we will start this process from our next talk onwards, that what we should train and what we should analyze and what defects we have to remove from ourselves to move in that direction one by one. But the first thing, as I mentioned, is to set your goal that I want to be one with the divine. I want to merge with him. I want to rise up. Nobody can stop me doing that. You should have that determination. That sankalp is the first step towards that divinity. So I would stop here today. Thank you very much, and I'll be happy to answer any questions on this preliminary beginning in this direction.